Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acom. We are broadcasting from the Hesselson studio. Well, good morning and welcome to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acom. We are broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio here on Market Street in Corning. We have a very, very busy show in store for you today. As you can tell, one of our guests is already in the studio. We have a couple quick things to get to, though. Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, we'll be talking with Steuben County Legislator, Joe Tobia. But, of course, the breaking news, and Mark brings it up this morning. He texts in and says, "Good morning, Frank." Well, good morning, Mark. I'd just like to give my condolences to Dolly Parton. May she rest in peace. We are going to talk about the passing of Dolly Parton. If you want to share your stories, I've noticed on social media there is a lot of stories of people either meeting her, seeing her in concert. I'd love to hear those to pass along. Also, big news coming out of South Carolina last night. Darlene Graham did win the GOP Senate primary runoff election for her brother's seat. So we'll be talking. Oh, there's no sound. Hold on just a second. That's a good start, right? Yeah. No sound. Does anybody else have issues with sound? We may have to take another. You have no audio. All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back, Frankly Speaking, after this.
It's layaway or swimming pool time at Hesselson's for next year. With Hesselson's Easy Layaway Plan, only $500 down guarantees you this year's price and gets you on an early installation date for next year. But hurry in, as next year's list will fill fast. Same great pricing, same great service, same great installation. Come in early so you can enjoy your new swimming pool all summer long. Hesselson's, your locally owned and operated swimming pool store since 1955, will always be there for you today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Remember, it's always fun to poke in the corners at Hesselson's.
I just love coming in after they've been here and seeing everything clean and tidy. It's such a good way to start the week.
Sometimes I wonder if they are magic.
I feel like it's the details that is everything. The being able to pick up on things that most people don't see or don't even think about.
House, business, or anything else, go with Magic Rags. The Enchanted crew has you covered from ceiling to floor.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say, and I never knew where I was going next. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at nationalcasagal.org.
Oh, I'm meteorologist Brant.
Learn how you can
weather.
help
We'll see some sunshine for our Wednesday. A high temperature of 81 and a northerly wind in the region, 74 in the coolest areas, and then seeing 80s becoming more common as we look north and east. Then overnight, upper 50s and low 60s. 83 is our high on Thursday. We have some shower and thunderstorm potential through the afternoon into the overnight hours. Drier, though.
It's layaway or swimming pool time at Hesselson's for next year. With Hesselson's Easy Layaway Plan, only $500 down guarantees you this year's price and gets you on an early installation date for next year. But hurry in, as next year's list will fill fast. Same great pricing, same great service, same great installation. Come in early so you can enjoy your new swimming pool all summer long. Hesselson's, your locally owned and operated swimming pool store since 1955, will always be there for you today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Remember, it's always fun to poke in the corners at Hesselson's.
I just love coming in after they've been here and seeing everything clean and tidy. It's such a good way to start the week.
Sometimes I wonder if they are magic.
I feel like it's the details that is everything. The being able to pick up on things that most people don't see or don't even think about.
House, business, or anything else, go with Magic Rags. The Enchanted Crew has you covered from ceiling to floor.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at nationalcasagal.org.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We'll see some sunshine for our Wednesday, a high temperature of 81 and a northerly wind in the region, 74 in the coolest areas, and then seeing 80s becoming more common as we look north and east. Then overnight, upper 50s and low 60s. 83 is our high on Thursday. We have some shower and thunderstorm potential through the afternoon into the overnight hours. Drier, though,
It's layaway your swimming pool time at Hesselsen's for next year. With Hesselsen's Easy Layaway Plan, only $500 down guarantees you this year's price and gets you on an early installation date for next year. But hurry in, as next year's list will fill fast. Same great pricing, same great service, same great installation. Come in early so you can enjoy your new swimming pool all summer long. Hesselsen's, your locally owned and operated swimming pool store since 1955, will always be there for you today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Remember, it's always fun to poke in the corners at Hesselsen's.
I just love coming in after they've been here and seeing everything clean and tidy. It's such a good way to start the week.
Sometimes I wonder if they are magic.
I feel like it's the details that is everything. The being able to pick up on things that most people don't see or don't even think about.
House, business, or anything else, go with Magic Rags. The Enchanted crew has you covered from ceiling to floor.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at nationalcasagal.org.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We'll see some sunshine for our Wednesday, a high temperature of 81 and a northerly wind in the region, 74 in the coolest areas, and then seeing 80s becoming more common as we look north and east. Then overnight, upper 50s and low 60s. 83 is our high on Thursday. We have some shower and thunderstorm potential through the afternoon into the overnight hours. Drier, though.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, and we should have audio. It's the typical reboot. That's what did it, but I woke up people, our good friend Chris, just to make sure that we had audio. We've got audio. We are on the air. So let me know if there's any problems. We've got a busy show in store, as you can imagine. We will be talking about, Mark mentions it in his text. Good morning, Frank. Mark says, I'd just like to give my condolences to Dolly Parton. May she rest in peace. We are going to talk about that. We also have the big news politically that Darlene Graham won the South Carolina GOP Senate primary runoff election for her brother's seat. So we'll be talking about that as well. But as you may have noticed, first time in quite a while that I decided to go live with an interview at 6 a.m. And when we did, we had technical issues. And isn't that how it works? But we are so glad to have return with us. Let me get right to it. Kyle Northrup, welcome back, buddy.
Thank you.
Sorry about the technical issues, but that's okay.
No, it's good. It happens.
Yeah, it's live TV, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's exciting. Well, first of all, I'm glad that you could be on the show, but you have the late shift. You work the late shift, so you're getting ready to go to bed. So I said we're going to hit right to this interview, and then we'll talk about the breaking stories of the day. But tell us a little bit of why you're in the studio. People see all the information at the bottom of the screen. You are a part of what is really, I would say, an amazing opportunity. Tell me how this all came about.
So basically, it all started when when my school transitioned over to a combat jiu-jitsu type martial art, and we started doing these tournaments in the ASJL, and one thing led to the next, tournament after tournament. We started building up a team to go to Worlds. Back in 2023, we did a inaugural event with Canada against Team USA. And I was part of that team. It was a great experience.
Sure.
And now we're back, and we're going to Guatemala this year.
And now how many people go with you to Guatemala?
So out of my school alone here in Elmira, we have 8 students going with 2 coaches.
That's great.
I am one of 2 people who was invited to the U.S. team to compete in the team event.
Okay.
The other one is Tegan Brown.
Okay, yeah.
And as of right now, we should be leaving around the 6th of October.
6th of October. We're going to talk about sponsorship opportunities in just a moment, because obviously something like that, a trip with that many people, it's not free. It's not free. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. But what's this experience like for you? You've been, from the beginning, you mentioned getting into jiu-jitsu. What's it like to have this really amazing opportunity?
It's very surreal, honestly. is kind of one of those things where if you asked me like 5-10 years ago, I would not think that I would be even leaving the country.
Sure.
Let alone competing on a international level. It's like, surprisingly enough, I feel like I'm taking it as well as
you can.
I can.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, first time ever leaving the country, and it is going to be to compete in a world event with a bunch of other well-rounded fighters, and it's kind of a humbling thought to...
I would think so. How many fights will you be involved in when you're there?
So that is unknown. It could be many. It really depends how our team does.
Oh,
but
I see. Okay.
I'll be competing in both the team event and the individual event. So the team event will basically go one team versus another out of, let's say, 9 fights, or let's say 9 matches between the weight divisions.
Okay.
If one team wins 5, then they win against that team.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like whoever wins whatever match you win, your team will get a point for it. And first 1, 2, 5 out of 9 ends up winning against the other team and moving on to the next round.
What is the excitement like in the gym as you prepare? Because you're talking about a little under 2 months away, right?
Yeah. Like very close. I think it's going up on 5 weeks now. So close. Everybody is excited. The parents are, especially the students going. Even the students who aren't going are really excited to just kind of be a part of helping train everybody else who is going, because it really takes a village to train world fighters.
What was it that got you interested in jiu-jitsu? Why jiu-jitsu?
So this was more of less of a tournament aspect and more of a self-defense base.
Sure.
Originally, our style was story karate, and we were doing more stand-up fighting.
Oh, okay.
And we didn't really have any actual ground game, which if you get taken to the ground and you don't have any ground game, then
it's all over.
Yeah. So we kind of added it in to become more well-rounded in self-defense, because you know, you can be a world-class fighter, you can compete in world events, but if you can't defend yourself against somebody on the street, then what's the point?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So that's kind of why we started with jiu-jitsu, but going into tournaments and stuff, it just kind of became more of a fun thing to go compete against people who are just very well-rounded fighters, especially in the ASJL. I met a lot of nice people through there, and I made a lot of friendships.
Oh, I'm sure. What's the next 2 months look like for you? Like workout routine, schedule? How's that work? Because, I mean, you still have to work. It's not like you're not a professional fighter in that sense, right?
Yeah.
You can't just train all day.
Yeah, I can just train all day and then have my one fight and make
millions.
all the money in the world.
Yeah.
So I work nights, which kind of works to my benefit, because classes end at 9 p.m. For our dojo, 8 p.m. and then a little after sometimes, and then I go into work at 11 p.m.
Gotcha.
So it kind of like a nice transition. Like once I wake up, I go train, and then I go to work, and then I'll probably sometimes during my lunch I will go for a run or just to kind of work in somewhere. But the job I have is it's a warehouse job. It is a very physically demanding job.
So that's part of a workout too.
Yeah. So really it's workout all day pretty much.
Yeah. And it was funny because you mentioned not only did you not think you'd be basically fighting in the national U.S. team fighter, but even leaving the country. So what do you think it's going to be like to experience Guatemala? Are you going to have an opportunity, or is it going to be all fight all the time?
So we actually scheduled a week after the tournament to kind of experience Guatemala.
Oh, that's cool.
To kind of not just fly down there, fight, and then fly back. It's more of afterwards, we want to take our team out to experience a different country.
Yeah.
Especially because a lot of our students who are going have not gotten the chance to go to a different country. So,
let alone fight in it, and then you want to have a little breather. After
a little breather after.
What's the age group? Like, what's the age range when it comes to fighters?
So, the age range for our students going is 12 to 35.
Oh, wow. So quite a different
so
range. My goodness.
Yeah, it's a decent size range, but you can have people from, I believe the lowest age is 12.
Okay.
And the highest age, there is no highest age. It's just if you feel you're capable at the age of 55 to fight in a world tournament, you can fight in the world tournament.
Now, how many teams, you had mentioned teams, how many people will be involved in the fights ballpark?
I would say probably somewhere between 600 to 1,000 people.
Oh, my goodness.
It's in the team event, that's unknown as of right now, but for the individual event, it could be somewhere between 600 to 1,000 people.
My goodness, coming up on October 9th, 10th, and 11th. We were talking out there. We don't know. We hope it will be broadcast. And if it does, we'll talk with, and I'll put that up on the screen again because we want to make sure people can be sponsors. I'll talk about this at the same time, but we'll talk with Tom Brown and see, because we'd like to see and root for the team. Because it's not just you're representing the United States, but you're kind of representing Elmira and the surrounding area too, right?
I grew up here.
Yeah. So is that when the team comes, are you are a part of the national U.S. team fighter? And excuse my ignorance if I'm not making sense on this, but as the team, is that Elmira when they announce the team names? Will it be from Elmira, something like that?
I don't know if they'll announce from Elmira.
Yeah.
But they will announce me. They'll announce the dojo that I represent, and I would assume they would announce where. Yeah. Because where is a big part.
I would think so.
Especially with the United States, it shows. We have people from Florida, North Carolina, New York, like a wide area, all coming together, training. September 11th and September 25th, we actually have trainings down in North Carolina.
Oh.
So it takes a lot of traveling.
There's a lot of traveling. That's why we were putting the sponsorship information up on there. Call Tom today. There's from platinum down to bronze. And, how cool would it look to have your business or even your family name on someone's robe, or, see those pictures, the sponsorship recognition. You can get all that information. You saw let me just put it up one more time because I know this is not going to be a cheap experience. So let's get all that information out there. If you're a company or just want to help and be a part of really kind of an amazing opportunity for a lot of people. And who knows, maybe you come home kind of a champ in your own way. Yeah. Right? And that's one way of looking at it. So when this all came about and you told your family and you told your friends, what were their reactions?
So my family members, they were excited. My friends were excited. Some of my friends were like, there's no way. They're like, there's no way you're going to Guatemala. And I'm like, no,
This is a true story.
Yeah, it's not a joke. I'm going down to Guatemala to represent the United States.
Yeah.
And again, still a surreal moment.
Well, before we go, I know we talked about the sponsorship, but how can we help other than, I suppose, donate, but also to cheer you on, right?
Yeah. If it ends up being a live event, tune in, watch. Yeah. Just cheer us on. If you see us doing a warm-up, like if you see the team running randomly in Elmira or anywhere, cheer us on. Do you
guys have shirts?
Not yet.
You gotta get. I'm saying for like fans, we need swag.
Yeah.
Tell Tom we need some swag because this should be something that people are walking down the street with the dojo's name on it.
Yeah, and just wearing it going about.
Yeah.
We're working on getting our warm up jackets and stuff going too.
Yeah.
That'll be
pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to have you send in pictures when you get all the whole team.
Yeah.
So we can before the big event. So, well, first of all, best of luck.
Thank you.
And thanks for being on the program, and we'll all be rooting for you. And maybe when it's all over, you come back with your, medal, trophy?
Probably trophy.
Yeah. Bring it back, all right?
Yeah.
All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV. Big Fox.
Firefighters responding to a fire alarm on a Wednesday found several safety violations.
I'm on scene right now where the commercial fire happened yesterday. As you can see, the building is in complete ruins.
They're pushing for an additional $250 million to the state budget.
Free local pantry here in her front lawn and painted posts.
The Vencino Group says it will cover hotel stays for residents through March 20th.
With the U.S. Department of State releasing a travel caution worldwide.
I have been hugely blessed to have all this, and I want to share it. Safety first, goggles, masks, because the sawdust can do a number on it. They're welcome to try any of my tools. I just don't want them hurt. You gotta know what they're doing. Just a total blessing for me.
Did you know that children growing up with poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children that grow up with good air quality? And unfortunately, poor communities have poor air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this. Today, the IQ Air Foundation provides filtration technology to schools with poor air quality through our Clean Air for Kids program. Our goal is to help over 50,000 school children every year breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, helping to level the playing field, reduce barriers to learning, reduce sick days, and increase test scores. Mitigating poor air quality is key to environmental justice. Help Clean Air for Kids reach more children at IQAirFoundation.org.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security in Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Sorry, we jumped right into our interview, but when you have a jiu-jitsu fighter in the studio, you don't want to keep them hanging, keep them waiting. We're sorry about the technical glitches early on, but we're back up and running. So keep those waves, keep those comments coming in. I can't remember if the audio went through on this, but Mark wrote in this morning, good morning. I'd like to give my condolences to Dolly Parton. May she rest in peace. It has been revealed that the cause of death is that Dolly Parton was secretly battling cancer. Now, I know the reports for quite some time had been questions about her health, that family members would release statements. So we knew something was happening, but she had had a few appearances not too long ago. Her reps confirmed after bravely facing a brief battle with cancer, Dolly departed her earthly life today at the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center, surrounded by loved ones. Our beloved Dolly Parton spent her life and career bringing joy, laughter, hope, and integrity into everything she touched. Her unmatched generosity reached the lives of countless people whom she would never meet, yet she was always there to offer a helping hand. President Trump making the announcement on Truth Social yesterday, saying, very sad to report that Dolly Parton, one of the greatest country singers and far beyond ever, has just passed away. This is a true loss for millions of people. There has never been anyone like her and never will. In her honor, I am lowering the American flag throughout the United States for a 1-week period, beginning tonight at 6 p.m. Rest in peace, Dolly. The world loves you. So how nice, lowering the flags for a week. And one thing I think is worth noting before we get into kind of the political side of things in general, we're going to talk about New York State issues. We're going to talk about Darlene Graham. But one thing I think was an important takeaway that people had, that back in an interview in 2020, Dolly Parton said, I am not political and I refuse to get caught up in political things. And could that be one of the reasons, when celebrities are pressured into making a political statement against Trump or Republicans? And we saw it recently, and I think it broke a lot of people's heart because he had went down this kind of religious path. But Jelly Roll, the rapper, country singer, I don't know how you could define him, going on Jimmy Kimmel and just saying really despicable things about President Trump. When you see that and you're just inundated with it, do you think that when everybody talks about, and rightfully so, the love everyone had for Dolly Parton, is it because she did not wade in to the politics? Is it because she performed and she did an amazing job at it? I mean, I think there's something to be said there. She continued in that interview, I don't like to get involved in politics because, first of all, I have as many Republican fans as I do Democrats. I don't want to offend anybody. I have a right to myself. Like God gave us free will, America gave us free speech. But you've got to be responsible for anything you say and do. Could that be why the world has come together to mourn Dolly Parton today, because she didn't get weighed into the politics? I think there's something to be said there. The New York Post editorial board said she's an American great and a great American. So Dolly Parton passing away at the age of 80. Okay. On the political side, it's hard to segue. I apologize, but our thoughts and prayers go out to the Dolly Parton family. What an amazing career. And as I had mentioned, but I think it might have been on mute, as I've been looking at social media, so many people have amazing stories about Dolly Parton, whether it's just reading her books to their kids or whether it's seeing her in concert or meeting her. So if you do have a story, please, by all means, I would love to, even if it's just, hey, I saw her concert 30 years ago. I'd love to read it on the air. Okay, Darlene Graham did win the South Carolina GOP Senate primary runoff election. This was interesting because some people said that she didn't have the best performance at the debate that was, what was that, last week? Where she admitted to not knowing about Taiwan, about the American-Taiwan relationship, that type of thing. But Trump obviously went full endorsement on Darlene Graham. She topped Ralph Norman 52 to 48% in the runoff, with more than 95% of the ballots counted. Graham said in her victory speech, "The past few weeks have been an unbelievably challenging time for our family, but you know what? We did it." She described the mixed emotions she endured on election night and since her brother's passing. "I'm still feeling grief, heartache, and immense gratitude. During the past several weeks, I've been amazed at the number of people Lindsey personally impacted and the legacy he left behind. Our state and nation are much better and safer because of him. Thank you, Lindsey, for your service to South Carolina and to this country. It's just not the same without you here." Talk about a whirlwind. She loses her brother. She's given that seat to fill out the remainder of his term, then wins the primary and is now the favorite to be the senator. Very interesting. She secured key endorsements from Senator Tim Scott and South Carolina Republican Governor Henry McMaster, and more than $800,000 in financial support from pro-Trump super PAC MAGA Inc. Trump said of Graham in a Truth Social post on the eve of the runoff, "We have known each other for a long time. She's a spectacular person and a true American patriot. Lindsey was one of the greatest people and senators I've ever known, and his sister shares his deep love of our country and the state of South Carolina. There is nobody better to honor the legacy of her beloved brother." Trump urged South Carolinians to get out and vote for Graham last week, telling his supporters to pretend he's Lindsey's, or to pretend he, meaning Trump, is on the ballot, and warning that they'll lose everything if she doesn't win her Senate race. I've got to say, we saw the coverage of her where they said Republican. Remember, this is how, and we talk about this so often, Republicans turning on MAGA, MAGA turning on MAGA. And they try to create this civil war within the Republican Party when there's actually a real civil war going on in real time in the Democrat Party, with the DSA versus DSA and the DSA versus Democrats and Democrats versus DSA, where Republicans, they kept saying, well, real conservatives, they don't want Lindsey Graham's sister. They want X, Y, and Z. MAGA's turning on Trump's endorsement. And even, which I find ridiculous, they have a piece of CNN saying one of the big takeaways is that Trump really needed this endorsement win. He's been doing great with endorsements. I mean, better than the Democrat Socialists of America numbers, but just another narrative they're trying to create. I thought one of the good lines that Darlene Graham had, and some are saying it's kind of what put the nail in the coffin for Norman. She said, "I was in Washington for only 2 weeks before I passed the Russia and Iran Sanctions Act through the Senate. I then passed the deciding vote to confirm President Trump's Attorney General, Todd Blanche. Simply put, I've done more in 20 days than Ralph Norman has done in 20 years. That's a pretty great takeaway. All right, yes, I know we've got a lot to talk about. We have a little bit of catch-up to do after that technical glitch. We're glad that we're back on. As I mentioned, Kyle Northrup was kind enough to be on at the beginning of the program. We do appreciate him being our guest. In the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to Steuben County legislator Joe Tobia. That'll be in the 7 o'clock hour. So we've got a busy show. I've mentioned it all week that we would have sometimes 2 guests per day. That's where it looks like we're at that today. And tomorrow we're going to be talking with Horseheads Mayor Kevin Adams. Friday, it looks as if we're on track to talk with Morgan James. She's going to be in Corning for the Civic Music We'll tell you all about that on Friday, but this is just the kind of week we've been having, and it's a blast. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for sticking with us through the technical glitches. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV. Big Fox will be back right after this.
Sunflower Days opens August 15th at Bradley Farms. Fall is in the air, and there's no better place to celebrate. Bring the whole family for our seasonal games, selfie stations, and make fall memories wandering through our giant corn maze. Bradley Farms is open daily 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., located at 1543 Maple Avenue in Elmira, New York. Come out to Bradley Farms for our Sunflower Days and the opening of fall fun.
Having a safe home is essential to many aspects of our lives. From a sense of community and safety, to physical and mental health, to economic security and independence. Most homes in our communities are not accessible and are not designed to accommodate the changes that come with age, including the risk of falling. The Older Adults Home Modification Program helps reduce the risk of falls, improves safety, and increases accessibility and independence. Through this program, Rebuilding Together works with older adults to provide no-cost preventative home repairs so our neighbors can safely age in place in the homes and communities they love. To learn more, visit rebuildingtogether.org/safeathome.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We'll see some sunshine for our Wednesday, a high temperature of 81 and a northerly wind in the region, 74 in the coolest areas, and then seeing 80s becoming more common as we look north and east. Then overnight, upper 50s and low 60s. 83 is our high on Thursday. We have some shower and thunderstorm potential through the afternoon into the overnight hours. Drier, though, and a touch.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Regarding the glitch this morning, I noticed your color is no longer red. What was done to correct it? What color was that? Like the screen? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean. Hey, what did you think about Trump threatening to rename Lake Ontario as Lake America? I like it. I know it. I know the media was up in a tizzy until bigger breaking stories like the passing of Dolly Parton. But before that, the whole day was focused on Lake America. Oh, my skin? I don't know. I don't know what changed it. One of the problems with the sometimes the color with the lighting is because of the change. Obviously, the studios, you can see Market Street from the studio, so a lot of it has to do with just where the sunlight's hitting at certain times of the year. But President Trump floated the possibility of rebranding Lake Ontario as Lake America in a shot across the bow against Canada's most populous province. Quote, the United States is giving serious consideration to changing the name of Lake Ontario to Lake America, and that we don't expect to be doing much business with Ontario any longer. All right, we're going to have to get a new map. On his very first day back in the Oval Office last year, Trump signed an executive order to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, a move he frequently boasted about during his first year. Boy, time flies, doesn't it? Wow. His musings about giving Lake Ontario, which borders upstate New York, the same treatment comes amid a bruising tariff battle with America's northern neighbors. So what do you think? Lake America, going out fishing on Lake America. I like it. Also yesterday, it was warned that the Kennedy Center may be torn down, according to Trump's lawyers, if renovations don't take place to save it from the death spiral. Without the president's support, the Kennedy Center will need to be demolished and replaced with a new structure, according to his lawyers. And donors will flee, leaving the center in a financial and structural death spiral if they don't see Trump properly honored with his name on the entrance of the building. The Kennedy Center is in terrible trouble. The crisis is so acute that without the Trump administration, its people, and President Trump, the center cannot survive, either structurally or financially. The attorneys, led by Assistant Attorney General Brett Shumate, outlined Trump's support for construction repairs as well as the financial backing, which includes $258 million from Congress and millions of dollars from new donors. All right. Now, I know we're moving fast, but with that technical glitch, we lost a little time, and we just have a lot that we need to cover. The Atlantic. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic. We criticize it quite frequently after that hit piece they did on Susie Wiles and the Trump administration. But they asked the question, is Mojtaba Khomeini dead? Last Tuesday, Iranian Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khomeini hosted a wake for his father and predecessor, Ayatollah al-Khamenei. Among the thousands who gathered in the biggest mosque were the country's most prominent political figures and several of the elder Khomeini sons. One person was notably absent, Mojtaba, the event's official host. About 6 months since his anointment, Iran's supreme leader has been entirely obscured from the public eye. Not a single picture, video, or audio recording of him has been released. Many of the country's top political leaders admit that they haven't seen him, among them Iran's foreign minister and members of the National Security Council. Not even Mojtaba's close friends and relatives have seen him. Fewer than 5 people have met with Mojtaba since his ascent to power. That's according to a former official and a relative of Mojtaba's, due to, quote, security precautions. The rationale, not implausible. Right. I mean, look what the damage that was done when they got kind of cocky and they all met together, and look how many leaders were taken out. So it's worth mentioning that he may, for security reasons, want to hide. Mojtaba would be a likely target for an Israeli or U.S. airstrike, such as the one that killed his father. Direct communications from him could supply Iran's enemies with clues to his whereabouts. He is also said to have sustained injuries in the February strike on his family that have made public speeches and appearances difficult. A staffer at a government institution in Tehran told Arash Azizi from The Atlantic, "I believe Mojtaba has either passed away or is brain dead." At least 2 other government officials told that this journalist the same. One said that he believed Mojtaba died or became brain dead earlier this month. 2 sources in the Iranian government recently told Iran Wire that word had spread amongst those at the highest level of the regime that Mojtaba was doing very poorly and could die at any moment. About 2 weeks ago, a public appeal went out to a domestic messaging service asking Iranians to pray for Mojtaba's health and sacrifice sheep to bless him, as it is customary in Islam. Mojtaba's life was under threat, and some clerics had warned that he might be killed. Since he was appointed, Mojtaba has ruled by decree. You get the point. So the question being asked, is Mojtaba Khomeini dead? It seems more and more likely, or I never really thought of that point where he could be brain dead or have such injuries that it would just not be sustainable for him to be seen in public. There would not be the propaganda that they would want. Now, Robert McGinnis from Fox asked the question, Trump's economic D-Day can hammer Iran, but will Tehran ever surrender? That's a fair question. There's been numerous reports on this lately that they don't care that their people are suffering. That's kind of part of their history. Will they just try to wait this out for the midterm? We had that conversation yesterday. And then if Democrats win, they feel like they don't have anything to worry about. Or will they try to wait it out all the way till the end of Trump's term? If economic D-Day cannot answer questions, America may not have found a way out of another forever war and may simply have found another way to fight one. That's Robert McGinnis, not a fan of the Iran war. Also yesterday, how much breaking news was there yesterday? CIA director allegedly had made a secret visit to Moscow. This reported by, allegedly, by the New York Times. John Ratcliffe flew to Moscow in a military cargo plane. It's not clear whom he met with or what the purpose of the trip was. So they say that mystery swirls around this trip. The Kremlin spokesman, Dmitry Peskov, told reporters that he had no information about the plane and that there were no plans for meetings at the Kremlin this week. Now, we'd also learned that specifically when it comes to Putin, he's very paranoid right now. He feels that there could be a coup attempt, is what we've heard allegedly. So he's kind of been in hideout as well. All right, we covered a lot there. We've got a lot more to cover. Stay with us. Keep those waves, keep those comments coming in. I know we probably lost a few of you when we had technical issues, so I hope you popped back on and that you'll be a part of the program and have those comments flow freely to Frankly Speaking. If you are new to the program, see that number on the bottom of the screen. You can send in a wave or you can send in your comments. We'll do our best to read it. Again, thank you to Kyle Northrup from National U.S. Team Fighter, a National U.S. Team Fighter, for being our guest this morning. First time I've had a live guest in forever in the 6 o'clock hour, and because no one wants to come in at 6 a.m. And we have him on, and then I had a technical glitch. So we do appreciate him sticking with us. And coming up in the next hour, we're going to talk with Steuben County Legislator Joe Tobia. On tomorrow's program, Horseheads Mayor Kevin Adams. And then Friday, hopefully, we'll be talking with Morgan James. Morgan James is coming to Corning for the Corning Civic Music. We'll talk all about it with her on Friday. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox.
William Attar isn't like other attorneys. He eats, breathes, and dreams about car crashes.
He's too fast. He's going too fast.
I knew it.
Way too fast for the conditions.
You're fixing this? This should be totaled.
Boss, that guy is here again.
Icy road. Head on. 2 million. No question.
And one more thing William Attar does. He wins. Hurt in a car? Call William Attar.
You can just keep watching and scrolling, and the world will still feel like it's falling apart.
Widespread misalignment. Highest hospitalization. Also evacuation of the Western forced labor.
Or you can take action by joining a movement that's creating real and lasting change instead. Partnering with communities around the globe to help uproot poverty and plant seeds of hope for a brighter tomorrow. Because at World Vision, we believe that no situation is hopeless. Join a movement that's changing the world for good.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Mark writes in, I believe the Supreme Leader isn't hiding or severely hurt. I believe he is dead and has been since we took out the rest of them, that you can't trust Iran. I think you raise a good point. There has been no confirmation one way or the other. So there's no way I could argue with you. Till we see differently. Or the point that they're not even sending audio recordings, that everything is written, I think is the biggest red flag. Okay, we're going to talk about the Democrat Socialists of America in the next hour. But I have to mention this. A California man, and we talk about this hatred so much and the division in this country. And that was my point when we talked about Dolly Parton. She was loved by everybody. And one of the reasons I believe that to be the case is because she didn't wade into politics. She stayed out of the politics world. And then you have people like, again, whatever you think of him, Jelly Roll, had quite a fan base and probably still will, but he was playing some religious music the way I understand it, and some people were finding him to be kind of like a pleasant change. And then he goes on Jimmy Kimmel and just blasts Trump. And when they fall down this rabbit hole, it doesn't benefit them. I really don't understand that. I mean, yeah, sure, you're popular now amongst Democrats, but you lost, like Dolly Parton said. You'll lose a lot of your fans. And it's just a shame because it never, like, look at some of the people that finally weighed into politics when they got pressured. Oh, you have to support Kamala. You have to support Kamala. And they did, and they ended up having a losing candidate, and their sales suffer. And it's never enough. Okay, now you've got to do more. Now you've got to use your soapbox. So I don't understand it. But we talk about this because the divide in this country and the hatred and how many assassination attempts has there been on the president. Just so many scary threats. I know that was on from Iran, but scary threats against Bannon, or Barron Trump, excuse me. But there's been so many examples of this hatred being pushed by the media and elsewhere. So listen to this. A California man was busted Tuesday by cops after they allegedly found a guillotine in the back of his pickup truck near the U.S. Capitol and the Supreme Court building. Phelan Tam Due Lee, 35, of California, had driven all the way from the Golden State to Washington, D.C., before U.S. Capitol Police spotted his pickup illegally parked along the 100 block of East Capitol Street shortly after 3 p.m. Then officers spotted the shocking cargo. The guillotine was sitting in the truck bed. Officers seized the device and arrested Lee on a charge of carrying a dangerous weapon. He was also cited for illegally parking next to the Supreme Court grounds. Pictures released by Capitol Police show the guillotine was fully assembled and standing in an upright position in the bed of the pickup truck. Now investigators are digging into the background of the California man and why he came to the nation's capital with an execution device in his truck. Well, obviously he thought this, I'm sure he didn't think he was going to get arrested. I'm sure he probably thought that this was going to be some type of form of protest, and he was going to show that he cared the most, that his opinion mattered the most, and he was the most radical. Kevin Lee, the suspect's brother, told the Los Angeles Times that his brother was unhappy with the current state of politics. So he brought a guillotine. In his mind, I'm sure, to send a political message. It became infamous in the reign of terror during the French Revolution. Owning a guillotine on private property is generally not a crime. Bringing a dangerous weapon into protected government areas is another matter. The Capitol complex and Supreme Court grounds are subject to strict federal and local security rules governing objects brought near government buildings. Lee remains under investigation as USCP works to determine why the California resident made the cross-country trek to Washington and arrived near the nation's most heavily guarded government buildings with a guillotine. So if we get any updates on that, but we know that he was trying, you would assume, to send some type of disturbing message. We have a couple updates from stories stories from throughout the week. I didn't realize how much we had to cover. We do have a couple updates on Bruce Blakeman. Your thoughts on Darlene Graham? Remember, they were trying to push this narrative that Darlene Graham was hated by MAGA and that she was going to lose and Trump was going to lose on that endorsement. Of course, that did not happen, is normally the case, this overhyping of trying to create Republicans, turning out Republicans, when in fact, we watch on a daily basis the Democrat Party imploding with this civil war, and yet no real coverage. But I understand I have to take a short break. I know it feels like we're moving fast because that first couple minutes that we lost, but we are covering a lot, and I hope that you'll stay right there. This is Frankly Speaking.
Distracted driving is dangerous, but some people just can't seem to help themselves. There's the steering wheel propper, the sneak-a-peeker, the fast scroller, the night-lighter. And it's not long until they become the fender-benderer, the got-a-ticketer, the veering off the road, the driver who kills someone. Enough with the phones already. Just put them down.
When a child is fighting a critical illness, one truth touches us all. Every child deserves a childhood. A wish sparks a ripple of hope that transforms communities far and wide. And when we grant wishes together, we create a movement of kindness, strength, and unity. Yay! Become a wish maker today and be part of a journey that truly changes lives.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We'll see some sunshine for our Wednesday, a high temperature of 81 and a northerly wind in the region, 74 in the coolest areas, and then seeing 80s becoming more common as we look north and east. Then overnight, upper 50s and low 60s. 83 is our high on Thursday. We have some shower and thunderstorm potential through the afternoon into the overnight hours. Drier, though, and a touch
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back, broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio, getting ready to wrap up hour number one. Again, we want to thank our guest, Kyle Northrup, for joining us at the top of the hour and being patient as we worked on a couple technical difficulties. It was nice to speak with him about the national U.S. team and his jiu-jitsu training. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to be talking with Steuben County Legislator Joe Tobia. By the way, if you missed any of the guests so far this week, whether it's Joseph Hernandez, comptroller candidate, got a great response. Sergeant Du Bois, as they have the Battle of the Badges coming up, that charity softball game between Corning Fire Department and Corning Police Department, or whether it's yesterday, the Finger Lakes Bike Rally in their second year, or the interviews from today. They're already on, and today's will be on later, WYDCTV.com or on our YouTube page. We've got a lot to update you on when it comes to the Democrat Socialists of America. A few good things here to report on from New York State and from the Blakeman campaign. And what else? Maybe a couple of just oddball stories. Here's a question for you. The New York Times asks, has World War III already started? A deep U.S. recession or a global financial panic will inevitably worsen every trend mentioned above. In periods of economic distress, democracies almost always become more risk-averse, while dictatorships become more risk-prone. That's a pattern of history worth recalling as we continue to drift, only dimly aware, toward the gathering storm. From the New York Times. All right, that's it for hour number one. Stay with us. Hour number two, moments away.
When you're online, don't forget to visit our Facebook page at Big Fox News. Catch up on news from the Twin Tiers and hear about local events. All on Facebook.com/Big Fox News.
With the U.S. state releasing a travel caution worldwide, firefighters responding to a fire alarm on Wednesday found several safety violations. Free local pantry here and her front lawn and painted post.
When it's a home improvement, Horseheads Do-It Center has you covered. Family-owned, locally trusted, and packed with everything you need for any project. From top-quality tools to kitchen and bath essentials, we make it easy. Competitive prices, expert advice, friendly service. Visit us at 124 North Main Street or online at doitbest.com/horseheads today.
Tide isn't just a gentle ebb and flow. It's a mighty force of change. Just like the tide shapes our shorelines, we can shape our planet's future and protect the world's oceans from its biggest threats. Help us turn the tide. Join Oceania's wave of ocean advocates who are making a difference in the world.
And we welcome you to hour number two of Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acom. We are broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio here on Market Street in Corning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We talked earlier about the passing of Dolly Parton. You can feel free to weigh in with your comments on her sad passing. Also, Darlene Graham, Lindsey Graham's sister, what a whirlwind she's been on these last few months, losing her brother, then taking over the remainder of his term in the Senate, and then deciding to run for the full term, and then winning last night in that primary with the backing of Donald Trump. As I mentioned, CNN was kind of critical of Trump, which should come as no surprise. Trump gets a much-needed South Carolina win, and other takeaways from Tuesday's election. President Trump demonstrated his might with Republican primary voters Tuesday in South Carolina. Now favored to win a full term in November, Darlene Graham is, in many ways, a senator of Trump's own making. The president lobbied South Carolina's governor to appoint her to fill the remaining months of her brother's term after he died in July. Then he privately and publicly pressed her to run for a full 6-year term. And when it looked like her rival in the runoff, Representative Ralph Norman, might win, Trump visited Myrtle Beach to rally Republican loyalists to Graham's cause, as his super PAC, MAGA Inc., disclosed spending more than $827,000 to support Graham. Graham's win is narrow. She led by a few percentage points Tuesday evening, but symbolically significant for the president in a month full of political setbacks, with 6 of his endorsed picks losing Republican primaries. That, again, I wish that they would report on Bernie Sanders' record when it comes to endorsement, when it comes to the Democrat Socialists of America's endorsement. But of course, the laser-like focus, as always, is on President Trump. I mean, a few percentage points, 52.5% to 47.5%. I'm not saying it's a blowout, but I'm saying that's pretty good. You could feel pretty comfortable. 193,300 and some odd votes to 175,000. Again, I think they wanted this narrative out there that she's going to lose because they didn't like Lindsey Graham to begin with. And they didn't like that Darlene was endorsed by Trump. So they were hyping up Ralph Norman. And this is not to just knock Ralph Norman. I have no horse in the race. But at the end of the day, they were trying to create a story out of thin air to attack MAGA, to attack Trump. So they said it was a badly needed win for Trump. Darlene Graham took her to stage at the victory rally, saying South Carolina is truly Trump country. Our victory would not have been possible without you, and we are grateful, she said in a message directly to Trump. For Trump, the win was badly needed. A victory in one of his highest risk interventions in Republican primaries this year, after a string of several losses this month, and with midterm elections just over 2 months away. It could serve to remind Republican lawmakers who might be looking to distance themselves from an unpopular president of the potential political costs of being at odds with Trump. Norman acknowledged Trump's role in the race's outcome, telling his supporters that the president got involved. He has that right. I never understood why he got in the race, but it is what it is, and I'll accept it. Graham is now set to face Democrat nominee Annie Andrews, a pediatrician, in November. Andrews challenged Graham to at least 3 televised debates, saying in a statement that no appointment, endorsement, or family connection entitles anyone to 6 years in the Senate. Still, Graham is heavily favored to win the deep red state in the general election. And again, they're trying to suggest that it's a senator of Trump's own making. It's not really own making. I mean, first of all, it was a great gesture to let her fill out the rest of the term of Lindsey Graham. And then it was her decision to run. And, you know, something we hear so much complaining about is that Kamala Harris didn't have enough time to run. Talk about a truncated time frame that Darlene Graham had. That's a heck of a campaign to run with no real political experience other than what I'm sure she heard from her brother. It's impressive. But it said Trump doubled down 3 days after she was sworn in, urging her on social media to seek a full term. There was reason to believe Trump's influence might be limited. After all, his choice in South Carolina's GOP primary for governor, Lieutenant Governor Pam Evett, lost to State Attorney General Alan Wilson, who Trump also endorsed at the last minute when it was clear his preference was on course for defeat. The president did not have the luxury of the same face-saving tack here. Norman had endorsed and campaigned with former Governor Nikki Haley as she ran against Trump for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination. Graham's inexperience was on display during the debate. Yeah, they're going to still be in attack mode. They'd love to see Democrats make move there, but it's going to be a hard battle. Another endorsement test in Oklahoma. Trump notched another victory in Oklahoma, this one even narrower, projecting that his preferred candidate in the governor's race, former state senator Mike Mazzei, will win a Republican primary runoff against State Attorney General Genter Drummond. The two are vying to take on Oklahoma House Minority Leader Cindy Munson. We're getting into the weeds on this one. All right. Georgia Democrats filled a House seat. The Democrat Everton Blair, a former Gwinnett County School Board chair, will win the special election for Georgia's 13th district House seat, vacated by the late Representative David Scott's death in April. But he won't hold that seat for long. He will be the first out gay member of Congress from Georgia. Blair defeated the longtime lawmaker's daughter, Marcy Scott. in the special election runoff on Tuesday. He campaigned on a pledge to be a stronger opponent to Trump and advocate for a more progressively affordable agenda than both the late congressman and his daughter. However, Blair finished a distant third in the regular House primary earlier this year. All right, that's enough of that. So that was the takeaway. I will say that I think it personally was nice to see. I even forgot that Norman had campaigned against Trump in the 2024 presidential primaries. Put that aside. I just think it's nice that Darlene Graham won that race. Now, as an update, we talked about Abdul al-Assad insulting. Man, I got a frog in my throat. Insulting Usha Vance and J.D. Vance. Well, she was asked about it on Fox and Friends, and Usha Vance said, I have to admit, I kind of laughed. The question that al-Assad asked was, so do we think J.D. is taking Usha with him back in time to meet Papa or no? Usha said, yes, I never met J.D.'s mama and papa. I do know and love the children that they raised, his mom, his aunt, and uncle, and they have never been anything but incredibly loving. His aunt is like a second mother to me. I have to think that if they raised children like that, they would have been loving as well, and I would have really, really loved to have met them. The second lady said she had never been to Ohio before dating Vance, and her expectations were blown up. It's a culturally diverse place. The people have been so welcoming. Everyone has been so loving. They are my family. They treat me like family. Anyway, Abdul al-Assad, there's been a lot of criticism, and I think this is a good way Bethany Mandel puts it. That Bethany Mandel says, Abdul al-Assad's, quote, are you circumcised? That was the question he asked Jesse Waters. That blunder could cost the Democrats and create a greater party fracture, create that more of the Civil War. Because remember, this was not a locked-in seat. Like the Democrat Socialists of America that won in New York City, they've got it. I mean, yes, maybe there's a Republican running, maybe there's an independent running, but for all intents and purposes, it's all over. But this is a much closer race. This is not a guarantee in Michigan. These are sentences one expects to hear in a United States There are sentences one expects to hear in a United States Senate campaign, and then there are sentences that until Monday night had probably never been uttered during one. And that was, and I don't want to read exactly what al-Assad said because it's weird, it's gross. But welcome to the 2026 midterms. It's only going to go downhill from here. The exchange was typical of the dodge and weave strategy al-Assad used throughout the Democrat primary race, as he smugly evaded tough and rational questions about his policy positions on hot-button issues. Al-Assad wasn't just unprepared to answer questions on transgender medical interventions for children, he was equally unable to intelligently discuss Sharia law, reparations, healthcare costs, and windmills on Lake Michigan. His smarmy performance has been a gift to Republicans who see in the candidate a dark turn toward a new generation of extremists running as Democrats, elites promoting socialism while remaining deeply disconnected from the concerns of everyday Americans. But it's the issue of transgender, quote, treatment, excuse me, that presents Democrats with a real risk of fracture. And al-Assad's response to Waters indicates how unprepared they are for that eventuality. Consider the voters al-Assad is courting in Michigan, progressives in college towns like Ann Arbor and religious Muslim voters in places like Dearborn. Democrats are counting on the latter to come through for them in November, but outside of a shared hostility towards Israel, the two groups have remarkably little in common. Al-Assad's quip comparing gender reassignment surgery to circumcision served as a detonation device between the two groups. Circumcision is, after all, one of the few religious practices Jews and Muslims share. And then we're not going to go through the whole history of that. This is not some obscure bit of comparative religion. It is the defining ritual in the two faith communities whose increasingly combustible relationship may help decide the Michigan Senate race. And somehow, al-Assad, who has made his Muslim identity an important part of his public biography, chose this practice as his analogy to something many religious Muslims find morally abhorrent. That tells voters something. Al-Assad was handed a choice between defending the social values of the religious community that he courts, and defending the most doctrinal position of the progressive movement. He chose the progressives without hesitation and managed in doing so to insult Jews as a bonus. His comparison is patently absurd. We're not going to go into that. But it showed which half of his political coalition wins when progressive ideology collides head-on with traditional religious beliefs. On Monday night, al-Assad gave Michigan voters the answer that progressive beliefs, progressive orthodoxy is the ultimate, especially to the far, far left religion. We've got a couple other things on that. I know we're going to be talking with Joe Tobia here a little bit, Steuben County legislator. That's coming up in a little bit, but we'll have one more segment before that. Stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
Firefighters responding to a fire alarm on Wednesday found several safety violations.
I'm on scene right now where the commercial fire happened yesterday. As you can see, the building is in complete ruins.
They're pushing for an additional $250 million to the state budget. Free local pantry here and her front lawn in Painted Post.
The Vencino Group says it will cover hotel stays for residents through March 20th.
With the U.S. Department of State releasing a travel caution worldwide.
I had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at nationalcasagal.org.
Let me ask you a question. Does it matter if the law firm you hire focuses on motor vehicle accidents? Has the experience to take on big insurance? Will go to court to win? Has won over $1 billion for their clients? If that matters to you, come to William Mattar. We are the largest motor vehicle accident firm in the state. Call William Mattar for the recovery you deserve. Hurt in a car, it matters who you hire.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We'll see some sunshine for our Wednesday, a high temperature of 81 and a northerly wind in the region, 74 in the coolest areas, and then seeing 80s becoming more common as we look north and east. Then overnight, upper 50s and low 60s. 83 is our high on Thursday. We have some shower and thunderstorm potential through the afternoon into the overnight hours. Drier, though.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio. Moving quickly this morning. Let's go to some viewer comments. Just stating the obvious in response to the article that said Trump is unpopular. He won everything in his being elected president. Great point. Now, and winning, right? So he won the popular vote. He won the electoral vote. And then he won the presidency back. So, yeah, this idea that he's unpopular, but they've been pushing this narrative since after the election. Talk about delusional. What a bunch of losers. They should give up journalism, which they are terrible at, and become comedians or court gestures, except for they're not funny. But yes, yeah, they should give up the journalism. I would agree. Ken writes in, Jelly Roll was open about his newfound Christian faith in prison, and the left romanced him to get him to come to the dark side and wanted him to bring some of his Christian convict friends with him. His music career was floundering, and they probably told him he may have a career in comedy. So the next step was a debut on the top-rated comedy show on the left, which isn't saying much. The only requirement was he had to deliver slams against Trump, which they wrote for him. He is the epitome of a loser that is so full of himself that he doesn't know he is a loser. I'm sure he is sitting back, basking in the short-term glory, saying they love me, they all love me. Thank you, Ken. Yeah, I think a lot of people, and I saw, obviously everything was kind of erased news-wise yesterday after Dolly Parton had passed, or the announcement of her passing. But I saw so much on Facebook and social media, and I don't even go on there that much, but focused on their disappointment with someone like Jelly Roll. I just think, going back to what I was saying about Dolly Parton, she did not get political. I think artists, no matter what their political position is, they do themselves a disservice. Now, you got people like Ted Nugent, that's helped, that hasn't hurt necessarily, but you have a lot of stars on the left that were destroyed for not doing enough. We were talking about Abdul al-Assad's weird, to use their term, Jesse Waters interview. As the Post put it, his freakish circumcision ploy shows he's not only a hater, but a weirdo too. Nearly all Democratic politicians are now afraid to openly condemn the obvious anti-Semites in their ranks. That should be a wake-up call for every voter still registered D and for the nation at large, they said, and that's just one of many issues. So the questions being asked before we go to a break and we have our guest on, and then when we return from our guest, we have a couple quick things here about New York State. But Isaac Shore says that the no standards left is run by scoundrels, fraudsters, and morons now. And she goes through these examples of some of the people we've been talking about, with some of the, I guess you would say, the new rising stars in the Democrat Socialists of America. Graham Plantner was one. Yeah, this is the same party that stood by Graham Plantner through a Nazi tattoo, abuse allegations, and jaw-dropping rants about just horrific things online, abandoning him only when it became clear that it could cost him a Senate seat. The same movement that has elevated Mamdani and al-Assad's less militant but more insidious brand of anti-Americanism. And the same group of people who created the conditions that allowed Jason Arde to become a star, then insisted he had been lynched after his many sins were made public. They'll miscast fabricated quotes as free speech, excuse 9/11 apologism, and allow plagiarists to commit institutional arson so long as they count the offender among their ideological allies. As the left continues to radicalize, it's increasingly prone to letting outrageously bad conduct, outright lies, and mediocrity run rampant. Because bad ideas from de facto race essentialism to third worldist revisionism to collectivism economics not only attracts the villainous, but robs others of their ability to police them. I thought that was an interesting point by Isaac Shore, kind of paraphrasing quickly. Jonathan Alper says, AOC says that woke one was crazy, but Democrats still owe voters an explanation. And we had that great piece a couple weeks ago, and all the victims of this woke mob, quote unquote, justice. You know how many lives were ruined, how many jobs were lost because of this extreme woke culture that took place, and it's still there. It's just they reword it now. The familiar Democrat argument is about whether the party should move left or towards the center. Woke one raises a more interesting question. Before Democrats decide where they are going, can they explain what they now think about when where they have been? Woke one was crazy sounds like a confession, but it isn't quite one. A confession names what you got wrong. Compartmentalization puts it somewhere you no longer have to look. All right. Oh, by the way, James Carville. Whew. James Carville eviscerated Hakeem Jeffries. We've talked about, and listen, they're kind of on the same team. This civil war is getting really, really interesting. Hakeem Jeffries, there's been questions about whether or not he will be the leader if they win the House. Same with Chuck Schumer. Well, James Carville tore into Hakeem Jeffries over his meeting with Jared Kushner. Let me try to explain something, Carville said. And Hakeem, you're a smart guy. Let me explain something here, very, very clear. You have Democrats that have a different position on Medicare for all, whether that's a good idea. You have Democrats that have a different position on effective policing. And there's a whole variety of subjects of which there are some disagreements within the Democrat Party. On one thing, there is no disagreement. And it is simply this. In the opinion of every Democrat in the United States, progressive, moderate, middle road, left, blank, I don't know, whatever you want, we believe one thing above all. These people are a pack of felons and traitors, and you do not meet with them. You do not meet with them. That is, just because Hakeem Jeffries had a conversation with Jared Kushner. Hakeem Jeffries, the heir apparent, if you will, to the House, to Speaker of the House, if the Democrats win the majority. That James Carville saying, it almost sounds religious in nature. I don't know, whatever you want. We believe one thing above all, and that is that you don't meet with people in the Trump administration. So doesn't that show you a little bit of the mindset of what will happen if the Democrats do win? I mean, just a little bit of what it'll look like in November if that you can't even have a meeting with Jared Kushner. We need to drag Kushner's blank before committee and find out what backdoor dealing White House blank he's got going on with Steve Whitcomb and everybody else. We're not going to be nice to you. We don't like you, James Carville said. He also added that Trump and his administration have no idea what they're doing while accusing them of making every backdoor we'll say baloney deal, they can. And we don't meet with them. Don't meet with them, calling out Hakeem Jeffries yet again. Okay. That's just a quick update. We got to take a short break. Coming up next, Steuben County Legislator Joe Toby is here with a very important message. I hope that you'll stay tuned and find out how you can help. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV. Big Fox, stay with us.
Don't forget to visit our Facebook page at Big Fox News. Watch news from the Twin Tiers and catch local events on Facebook.com/Big Fox News.
It's layaway or swimming pool time at Hesselson's for next year. With Hesselson's Easy Layaway Plan, only $500 down guarantees you this year's price and gets you on an early installation date for next year. But hurry in, as next year's list will fill fast. Same great pricing, same great service, same great installation. Come in early so you can enjoy your new swimming pool all summer long. Hesselson's, your locally owned and operated swimming pool store since 1955, will always be there for you today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Remember, it's always fun to poke in the corners at Hesselson's.
Make this summer event at Chilson Wilcox Reloaded. Drive home a 2026 Ram 1500 Express and save over $10,000. Step up to a 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew 4x4 and save over $13,000. Plus, it comes with the best powertrain warranty in the business. 10 years or 100,000 miles. Save over $8,000 on a 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo X. And as always, get the highest trade-in values, period. Always save more at Chilson Wilcox. Selling cars a different way, the right way. Hurry in. When they're gone, they're gone.
United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
Frankly Speaking with Cam, brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acom. We are broadcasting from the Hesselson studio, and in that studio, we have Joe Tobia. Welcome back.
Thanks, Frank.
It's always good to see you.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
I'm so glad that you could be on the program because I know people have been watching the coverage of this, and you've luckily got a lot of coverage over to kind of spread the word. Tell us about, we'll get wonky here for a minute, Bill S3610 and A8434, the creation of the Rural Suicide Prevention Council. How long have you been in this fight for this to go through?
3 years, a little more than 3 years. Back in summer 2023, I was campaigning for state legislature.
Right.
And I just happened to come across a bill from Maryland. And I remember it was Maryland's Suicide Fatality Review Committee. Mm-hmm. It had already been signed by Governor Hogan, and I saw it, and I remember it was PL 94. And as I read the bill, I thought, holy cow, this is a good way to investigate suicide, fatalities. Right. I really liked it. Of course, it hit home. It was 2 years after I had lost my son to suicide. Right. So it really hit home for me that I thought this is something that's definitely good. Mm-hmm. So I started kind of investigating New York State, and I came up with this creation of a Rural Suicide Prevention Council. Mm-hmm. And it had first been proposed in 2021.
Okay.
Made it through the Senate, died in the Assembly. The next year, I think it died in the Mental Health Committee. I mean, and I wondered, as I read the bill, low cost,
mm-hmm. Bipartisan support.
Bipartisan. It isn't a Republican or Democratic bill. It's bipartisan. Why isn't this bill moving?
Right.
And that was the first time, of course, I wasn't in the legislature yet. So, of course, you go to your elected officials. Mm-hmm. I went to Assemblyman Palmisano. Yeah. And I can still remember walking into his office, and I had known Phil because he was very much involved with our sister cities. He was always here to welcome the Italians.
Yeah, of course.
I always remember
that. He loves it.
And as I walked in and I told him, I said, hey, what can you tell me? And I still remember him saying, Joe, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. But that began the kind of the investigation, and he became my eyes and ears and legs in Albany. The same time, Frank, I started my letter writing.
Yeah.
I was writing to all these sponsors and anybody associated with the bill saying, what's wrong with this bill?
Yeah.
And it's funny, the first year, I didn't hear too much. You know, you get the automated responses, well, you know, thank you, we really consider, you know. But I didn't hear anything, so I just kept at it. And then I started phone calls and faxes, leaving messages. After a while, you know, the old squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, people started responding.
Yeah.
And then the questions became, well, let's you know, they said, we don't know, it's a good bill, it's really not, we're not paying attention to it, but let's pursue it. And that's when I started pushing, let's get it up there. And we pushed and pushed, and you know, it wasn't just me, and I want to make that real clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Phil Palmisano, like I said, he's huge for it. Senator Tom O'Mara, he was great, big-time advocate. Assemblymember Joe Sempolinski. And I also had a lot of help from the Democratic side, too.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it was a mix, and I don't want to make this a Republican thing, and like I said, I don't want to make it a Democratic thing, because it's not.
Yeah, right.
I think Senator O'Mara said it best at one of the interviews that I think Lindsey Madison did a couple months ago. He just said, look, suicide's not a partisan issue.
Not at all.
It's a people issue. But I'm lucky to have 3 representatives in our area that truly care about the well-being of us.
Right.
And it's not because, I mean, I'm a Democrat, they're Republican, so the party has never even...
That's never come up.
So anyways, it's just good to have people who, you know, elected officials who truly care about the constituents. So anyways, that began the quest, and in the meantime, you know, I made so much noise, and I was going back and forth with the Office of Mental Health. They called, interviewed me once, and at the very end, they said, you know, we'd like you to, we're putting together a task force, a governor's task force for suicide prevention. Would you mind sitting on it? I was thrilled. Of course. Absolutely. I had a lot to learn, and I did learn a lot. That whole year I sat on that task force, and I was sitting with some pretty expertise people in suicidology, and some of the best in New York State, and I learned a ton. It was a great experience for me. And then I wrote and requested to give in-person testimony. That was back in January 2025 to the joint legislature.
Okay.
And I got selected. That you have to apply, send in your reasoning, what are you going to talk about, and I did all that. And you know, when I went up to Albany, Senator O'Mara met me up there, kind of took care of me, park here, we'll meet you here. And, you know, I didn't know what I was doing. Sure. And, you know, Assemblyman Palmisano, he was there to meet me and stuff. So they kind of got me comfortable up there, and I was able to give testimony. And I got a great response from the Assembly members and the senators that were in session. There was about 40 of them. I'd say 30 to 40 people there that I was able to give my testimony to. It was a big crowd.
Yeah.
And after I was done, they all came down. They said, you know, we're behind you, we're supportive, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, I felt good about it. And like I told you earlier, in 2024, we got through the legislature. It got passed in the Assembly, got passed in the Senate. I was thrilled.
Yeah, it's all
I
over
was
now,
thrilled.
right? Yeah.
The very last day of the legislature, that they were in session, like midnight.
Yeah.
I went to bed about 10 o'clock at night, and I hadn't heard anything that it made it through the Assembly. It had already been passed in the Senate. So I thought, oh, boy, you know, not going to make it. I wake up the next morning, and there's a text from Assemblyman Palmisano with a picture up on the screen that it passed, and it was a last-minute
That's great.
So I was thrilled.
Yeah.
But 5 months later, it got vetoed by the governor.
I don't understand that.
Well, you know, I got a personal phone call from her office, and they just said, well, you know, we're going to veto the bill. And of course, I'm shocked.
Yeah, right.
Why?
Yeah.
And 2 reasons, which I understand now. One of them, there was no budget attached to it.
Okay.
Now, putting a committee together,
not much of a
3,
budget.
4 times. What are you going to do? Buy them lunch, you know?
Right.
And you're not paying them extra.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
they're doing it under their own professional, part of their professional duties. So I get it. She wants bills with budgets.
Okay.
I get it. As a former principal of a school, I would want it too.
Sure.
The other reason was she likes specific departments to form their own councils, their own committees. She doesn't like to approve them herself. So they were the 2 reasoning. So we went back to the drawing board, tried to push. In 2025, I forgot it, a year ago, there was something missing in the bill, and I knew it wasn't going to go, so we didn't really push it.
Okay.
This year, there was a little changes to the bill, and we began the quest again. Yeah. And here we are. It passed in June.
Yeah.
We're here again. This time, I'm here to. Well, you're nice enough to be able to let me talk about the bill, and I want to drum up some support here locally.
How do we help, though? I mean, how obviously we get the word out, we tell people, but like you said, our assembly members and state senators, they're all for it. So how can we really get the word going?
Glad you asked.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
There's two ways you can do it. I think we've got to let the governor know that we're in support of this bill. Let's face it. It's a political issue in Albany for some of those people. And governor,
it's an election
she's in a re-election year. I get it.
Yeah.
So there's two things we can do. What I would recommend is make a phone call. It takes about a minute.
Yeah.
I can give you the number, 518-474-8390. You're going to get a recording.
Okay.
Press 1 if you want to leave a message regarding the bill. You press 1 and you just simply say, look it, the creation of the Rural Suicide Prevention Council is greatly needed. It's a great way we can study suicide, improve our preventive measures here in New York State. We've got some great rates here. Our rates in New York State for suicide prevention are some of the best in the country. But like Commissioner Sullivan of the Office of Mental Health always says, it's good, but we can do better. We must do better. And that's one of the best statements I think I've heard from her. We must do better. So you just simply say, Bill S 3610, A 8434, Rural Suicide Prevention Council. Please sign it. Just sign it. It's needed. It's greatly needed. New York State has never investigated suicide fatalities like this. Never. They've never had a council or a committee to look at the last 5-6 months of an individual who died by suicide.
Right.
To try to get answers to the questions like, where did we fail them? Where did we miss these people?
Right.
I mean, let's face it, there are failures.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What
services could we have gotten to them? Why did we miss with such good suicide preventive measures we have in New York State? How did we miss these people? What are the barriers? That's the big one.
Yeah.
I know with my boy, the last couple of years of Matt's life, he was denied a lot of the services and care.
Yeah.
And that's what I think when I first read that Maryland bill, it hit home. Matt was denied. He needed a bed. He needed inpatient care. We were told he's unqualified. And no one gave us any reasoning. And it was like, why?
Yeah.
So, anyways, those are some of the things, the bill brings, and that's what we're hoping. So.
Well, and what does the Rural Suicide Prevention Council look like to you? Because as you mentioned, you have a couple meetings. It's a committee essentially.
Yeah.
What does that look like? What is your dream if this is passed? What does it look like?
Well, my dream would be that it'll comprise of approximately 12 to 16 members.
Okay.
Many of them appointed. I think the bill actually says the governor can appoint 4 designees. Speaker of the Assembly can appoint 2 or 3 designees. Sure. Commissioner of Agriculture, because we're dealing with rural areas.
Right, absolutely.
And farmers, suicide among farmers is quite high, higher than most people think.
Oh, sure.
So they can designate a couple designees. There is a little wiggle room, gray area for anyone else that they may think could contribute to the committee. So you're talking about 12 to 16 members of this council who are pretty much expertise in those areas.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to get people from mental health. You're going to get people from the suicide prevention office.
Of course.
Those are the ones you want.
Yeah.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to pick, I would imagine what the council would do is going to look at maybe 3-4 rural counties. I happen to look at rural counties from the least rural to the most rural in New York State.
Yeah.
Steuben was like 18.
Yeah.
All right, so that, not quite.
Yeah, right.
Second, the lower half.
Yeah.
But you pick 3 or 4 counties, and then you do a random selection of maybe 4 or 5 individuals from each county. I mean, obviously, you can't investigate all suicides; it would take forever. The Maryland bill, they really pinpointed the age range on some of them, and they really and with suicide, I believe one of the reports I read was suicide by gun.
Okay.
By a firearm.
Sure.
So they minimized it. They really detailed who they were going to look at, and we could do the same. And then what we want to do is you want to just gather data. For example, if we were to pick Steuben County, pick 3 or 4 suicides here in Steuben County, let's say 4 or 5, We want to get data, as much data as we can from those individuals, because there's a lot of data on it.
I'm sure.
You know, and that'll give us an idea, did they have any services? You know, how did they die? What was going on?
Where did we fail them, like you said earlier?
Yeah, and we've got a lot of release forms that go with the bill, you know, obviously with HIPAA and stuff like that. We've got to, you know, get permission to look at the data of these individuals. So it's a pretty in-depth council.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's never been done in New York State. It's a great way to look at fatalities. It's a great way to improve our preventive measures. There's nothing bad about this bill.
No.
There's nothing bad at all about this bill.
That's what I don't understand. Because how rare is it to see bipartisan support for anything at all?
And
or
do we need
anywhere.
it, Frank?
Yeah, I know.
You know, we all need it. I think,
know.
you know, we're all in with this one big fight, and I think everybody's just kind of getting sick of it.
I agree. But this seems like a no-brainer. And how appropriate would it be if Governor Hochul, like you said, it is a re-election year, something she can consider, but September being National Suicide Awareness Month, what a perfect time to sign this into law.
And I just sent her a letter last week. And I said, you know, and I've sent her a couple letters this summer, you know. Like I said, I can be a pest. And but, you know, I try to keep it professional, and I try to keep it, you know, very positive. And I just said, look, if you're going to sign this bill, sign it in September.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perfect way for New York State to say, hey, look, you know, we support, you know, preventive measures with suicide. So, you know, that was one of the points. I think I put 5 points, 5 reasons why she should sign the bill in September, and that was one of them, you know, Suicide Awareness Month.
And the thing is, I know it gets discouraging. It's been a long fight. It's been a long journey. But you're never going to give up.
I'm not going to give up. I can't, you know, and I'm not going to give up because I just think it's a good bill.
Yeah.
I think it's going to save lives. You know, it not only is going to save lives of people who may be contemplating suicide, maybe open up some doors where they can get the services and care they need. But, you know, people like me, you know, I don't want parents to go through losing a child or a loved one or any individual to lose a loved one to suicide. It's a god-awful thing, Frank, and I think everybody knows that. But, and also, I really believe that one of the things I found out in the last 5 years, a lot of people are connected to suicide.
Yeah.
Whether it's a parent, whether it's a child, whether it's a loved one, boyfriend, girlfriend, cousin.
Right.
We're connected to suicide some way.
Yeah.
We've got to find ways to bring the rates down, and this is one way to do it. So.
Well, so again, contact the governor's office, 518-474-8390, and people can text in, and if they have any questions, I can get them emails, all that. You think phone call's probably the best, though, don't you?
I do. Yeah. I mean, if you want to send them, you can send a message to her, and that's www.governor.ny.gov.
Okay.
And you get, you know, you got to fill your name in and stuff. It's you got to fill in the information. They want to know who's sending this message. Right. Where the phone call's a little easier, it's a little faster. So that's why I kind of, you know, push that. So
do you think? How are you feeling right now as you go into? I mean, again, it passed, so it's just at the governor's discretion at this point.
It's at the governor's discretion. And I did meet with some people when it first passed the legislature. You know, I immediately sort of sent a letters out. And I got an email that some people from the executive branch wanted to meet with me. I thought, oh, all right, great.
Good.
And basically, the two people I met with just wanted to know, you know, Joe, you're pushing the bill. She vetoed it 2 years ago. What makes you think she's going to pass it this year? And, you know, and I knew everything I was telling them was going to go to the governor. I knew that.
Course,
so, but they were very good about it. And they were very nice. But they don't give you any indication whether they're going to veto the bill or pass the bill. It was just more information about it. And they were very good about it. So, you know, I got done with the interview and I thought, oh, I don't know. I don't feel one way or the other. I have to believe she'll pass it. I really do. I don't know. I mean, it's
bipartisan. We're at re-election year, which I mean downplays it, but that's is important. That's what politicians think about, right? So you have all these things coming together. It seems, I hate to keep saying it, but it seems like a no-brainer. It seems so easy.
And you know, Frank, in this community that we live in, it's a good community. It's a great community because we got a lot of people who truly care about those who are suffering from mental health. They really do. And that's one of the reasons I came in today and asked you. Because I know I can get some support here.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'll bring up Sheriff Allard.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you meet with him a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he's ever told you about the Sheriff Ron Spike Wellness Center.
Oh, isn't that great?
It's fantastic what him, and I believe it's Sheriff Figueroa from Ulster County have put together for first responders.
It's amazing.
And you think about first responders. You know what I think about? I think about those people that had to go into the classroom at Sandy Hook.
Oh, yeah.
You don't think that had an impact on their life?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It had. So what they see every day, I mean, they need the help. So we've got people like Sheriff Allard who are stepping up and doing some good things. And I just think we got a good community, and that's, I'm hoping some people can just make that phone call. It takes about a minute.
Yeah.
And help out.
Well, you'll have to keep us updated. We want to break the news when you find out.
Frank, I really, truly appreciate it.
Anytime, honestly. Anything we can do.
You got it.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking after this.
Give kids time. Just 5 minutes a day. Ask them how they're feeling. And listen. Give kids time. Just 5 minutes a day. Ask them how they're feeling. And listen.
Lease a brand new 2026 Chevy Equinox 1LT all-wheel drive with Gene Lease Loyalty or Conquest Bonus for only $389 a month for 36 months. Make car buying simple. Drive your deal at Simmons Rockwell Chevrolet in Bath.
MS is so uplifting. You see how the community rallies around us saying, we're going to fight this thing with you, no matter how long it takes or what it takes.
I love the energy at Walk MS. It is community, it is family. I can ride that high for the rest of the year.
A cure is on the line for me.
A cure is on the line for all of us.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We'll see some sunshine for our Wednesday. A high temperature of 81 and a northerly wind in the region, 74 in the coolest areas, and then seeing 80s becoming more common as we look north and east. Then overnight, upper 50s and low 60s. 83 is our high on Thursday. We have some shower and thunderstorm potential through the afternoon into the overnight hours. Drier though.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam. Brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hesselson studio here on Marcus Street in Corning. We want to thank Steuben County Legislator Joe Tobia for being our guest this morning. I always appreciate when he's on the program. Okay, a couple comments from viewers. Do you have the phone number again that Joe Tobia mentioned? Thank you. Yes, the number, and I'll text it to you directly as well. But everybody grab a pen. It's 518-474, oops, yep, 8390. So 518-474-8390. And if you are curious, the bill is S3610 and A 8434. So one's the Senate, one's the Assembly. But again, if you call it the Rural Suicide Prevention Council bill, I'm sure that would be fine. But S3610 and A8434. Okay. Comment from a different viewer. Good morning, Frank. Hey, well, good morning. Overall, Dolly was an icon, and she managed to largely stay true to her roots and keep it real. She was open about her faith and was a generous, giving woman who enriched many lives. Rest in peace. I couldn't agree more. There's something so unique about Dolly Parton that everybody essentially has come together in mourning. It's not by party. It's not by, whatever belief. It's just mourning of a star, not just an amazing country singer, but just an amazing person. I saw Al-Assad with Jesse Waters, and as is the lefty way, he accused Jesse of talking over him when all he did is interrupt, and the typical annoying way they do things. He was invasive and, in my opinion, arrogant. He may look good on the outside, but I think there's a dangerous spirit within. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. All right, a couple New York State updates. New York sheriffs are suing over Governor Hochul's anti-ICE law that bans government cooperation. And, of course, in her typical arrogant, to steal that viewer's word, arrogant fashion, she says, bring it on. What's interesting, Bruce Blakeman is one of the vocal opponents of this ICE rule. Now, Hochul had said at the news conference, we believe public safety must be pursued lawfully, transparently, and with humanity. I would argue, does Governor Hochul even believe that we should worry about public safety? Doesn't seem it with some of the laws coming out of Albany, but I'll continue. A spokesman for Bruce Blakeman's campaign refused comment on Tuesday morning, but he broke his silence on the day the law took effect. Where is it exactly? Well, Republican Rensselaer County Executive Steve McLaughlin said, anybody with common sense looks at what we're doing and says, I want to know who that person is. I want to know if they're Tren Diaruga, MS-13. I want to know if they're a rapist, a killer, a murderer. I want to know that. I have the right to know that as an American citizen. So they, again, the ban on local police assisting ICE takes effect, and 15 sheriffs filed suit. Where was it? Thought I could have swore I saw a quote from Bruce Blakeman, but I guess I did not have that, all my ducks in a row there, so I apologize. Oh, there. Nassau County, whose executive Bruce Blakeman is the Republican gubernatorial candidate running against Hochul, won't comply. Rensselaer County Executive Steve McLaughlin won't either. We'll see you in court, Governor, McLaughlin says. Because of the governor and the AG's actions, we're not left feeling safer. We've got a couple other New York State updates, so stay with us. Actually, quite a few that I think you're going to find interesting. Another thing here about Blakeman. Yeah, stay with us. I don't want to run too late. We'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox.
Google reviews rank Ferrario Ram the highest customer experience Ram dealer in our area.
Get a new 1500 Ram Ferrario priced at 18% off. Express, Warlock, or Bighorn. Ferrario priced at 18% off. With America's best full-size truck powertrain limited warranty, 10-year, 100,000 miles. 2026 Ram 1500, 18% off. Take your pick.
Make this the summer event.
Visit Ferrario Ram in Elmira for your Ram 1500.
Did you know that children growing up with poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children that grow up with good air quality? And unfortunately, poor communities have poor air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this. Today, the IQ Air Foundation provides filtration technology to schools with poor air quality through our Clean Air for Kids program. Our goal is to help over 50,000 school children every year breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, helping to level the playing field, reduce barriers to learning, reduce sick days, and increase test scores. Mitigating poor air quality is key to environmental justice. Help Clean Air for Kids reach more children at IQAirFoundation.org.
The Frankly Speaking Roof Cam brought to you by Boss Security and Horseheads. Contact them today for all your business and home security needs. We are back broadcasting live from the Hasselson studio. Comment from Rick this morning saying, good morning, Frank. Good morning, Rick. Trump threatens to rename Lake Ontario to Lake America over the trade war with Canada. This guy is the biggest ... on the face of the earth. What is wrong with him? Canada didn't start anything. Trump did, just like he always does. He should be removed from office before there is nothing left in our country, please. He is like a spoiled, rotten brat that throws a temper tantrum when he can't get his way. All he does is dig the hole we're in deeper and deeper. Come on, cowards in Washington. Remove Trump from office. Besides, if I'm not mistaken, there is a line down the middle of the lake, half Canada, half U.S. Doesn't feel very united anymore. Now he wants to tear down the Kennedy Center because he can't have his name on it. Poor Donald. Did the mean old judge say you can't have your name on the Kennedy Center? Meanie. I think Trump has finally lost his mind. Throw him a pacifier. Oh, cool. Thank you. That's cool. We got some photos from viewers. That I'll see if I can get to that in the next break before we wrap up. I do appreciate that. Hey, New York residents, how about this? New York will pay you, a resident of New York, $25 a month to let utilities adjust your thermostat during heavy use. This is how bad we're getting when we talk about grid, when we talk about, this is unbelievable. The energy cap fixes the maximum amount which customers on standard variable tariffs can be charged for each unit of gas and electricity used. Oh, okay. Anyway, this is getting all into past in England and Scotland like that. But where is the... did it cut off? Anyway, New York will pay residents, if you're interested, $25, which probably isn't going to go a long way for your utility bills. I was seeing if I could find the exact... yeah, I can't find the exact story that didn't print out exactly right. There it is. What it says here is a state-backed thermostat incentive in New York is advancing, offering homeowners a way to earn bill credits in exchange for letting utilities briefly adjust home temperatures. Yeah, briefly. During periods of heavy electronic use. A little draconian here, isn't it? Eligible customers in the Excelsior Power program can collect $25 a month for up to a year, up to $300 total by installing a Wi-Fi-enabled smart thermometer. Then those utility companies can adjust. Oh, by the way, they did like a 7-8 page piece at the New York Times about Governor Kathy Hochul. 5 years in, makes her case for 4 more. Ms. Hochul, who ascended to the governorship in the depths of the pandemic, believes... Ascended, huh? Don't you mean she fell into the governorship when Cuomo stepped by? Anyway, believes that New York is back. She hopes she has persuaded New Yorkers. 7-page glowing piece. We'll see when the New York Times offers that to Blakeman. We got to take our last break. Get those last second comments in, and we'll be right back with Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV, Big Fox.
Make this the summer event at Chilson Wilcox. Reloaded. Drive home a 2026 Ram 1500 Express and save over $10,000. Step up to a 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew 4x4 and save over $13,000. Plus, it comes with the best powertrain warranty in the business. 10 years or 100,000 miles. Save over $8,000 on a 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo X. And as always, get the highest trade-in values, period. Always save more at Chilson Wilcox. Selling cars a different way, the right way. Hurry in. When they're gone, they're gone.
World Youth Clubs provides professional and technical assistance to all our affiliate clubs all around the world. We already have 44 countries that are behind us providing safe spaces for kids, but there are 160 other countries we'd like to reach out to. Yeah. Right, Rod? Exactly. We need you to help fund the World Youth Clubs and make their dream come true.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Brandon Weathers. We'll see some sunshine for our Wednesday, a high temperature of 81 and a northerly wind in the region, 74 in the coolest areas, and then seeing 80s becoming more common as we look north and east. Then overnight, upper 50s and low 60s. 83 is our high on Thursday. We have some shower and thunderstorm potential through the afternoon into the overnight hours. Drier, though, and a touch cooler.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you, no sound. Let me go back and read these comments. One of those days, folks. New York is back. Talk about delusional. Hochul is a nutcase, according to one viewer. Comment from Ken. Sooner or later, Hochul's puppet masters will use the smart meters to brown out users that exceed whatever electric usage they decide to mandate. Ken's exactly right. That's why you want that $25. You put that system in there with the Wi-Fi. Yeah. You're telling me they're not going to use that system at some point? Because what was it that Mom Donnie wanted you to set your air conditioner at? It was something like 75 on the hottest days. So if they have power over it, once you install that system for them, yeah, especially with the electric grid that is just not ready for all these green energy policies, you're exactly right. Jack writes in and says, I guess I felt like Dolly Parton was going to live forever. And like there was always time to maybe catch her at Dollywood or something. 10 years in Tennessee later, I never went. We will all miss the opportunity now to see that glowing personality and big smile in person. She will be missed. I totally agree. Comment from a viewer. I like Lake America. Look at Canada's doctor-assisted suicide program compared to what legislator Tobia is trying to bring about. Yes, good point. Thank you very much. What else we got? I know I'm out of time. All right. We are completely out of time. I still got audio. Anyway, Frank, have a great day and a wave. Thank you very much. That does it for today's edition of Frankly Speaking, but we're going to end on this. A viewer sent in photos from their trip to Fort Ticonderoga. Thank you for sending those in. We do appreciate it. What a perfect way to end this morning's broadcast. Beautiful photos. Thank you. You can always send in photos from your trips. We always do appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone. This has been Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV. Big Fox.
It's layaway your swimming pool time at Hesselson's for next year. With Hesselson's Easy Layaway Plan, only $500 down guarantees you this year's price and gets you on an early installation date for next year. But hurry in as next year's list will fill fast. Same great pricing, same great service, same great installation. Come in early so you can enjoy your new swimming pool all summer long. Hesselson's, your locally owned and operated swimming pool store since 1955, will always be there for you today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Remember, it's always fun to poke in the corners at Hesselson's.